India is the largest film producing nation in the world. It is the second oldest film industry, the only nation that makes films in 41 different languages, with the highest ticket sales, and also has the largest film studio. Strangely though, it still does not have an Oscar.
नहीं जीतेगा हमारा मर्जी है हमारा this is our target नहीं जीतेगा.
On a serious note, what could be the reason? Is it poor content, plagiarism, incompetence, politics, nepotism, or a conspiracy? We're gonna break it down in this video. Before making a frivolous statement or jumping to a conclusion, let's understand why the hell on earth is this bald dude covered in gold paint so freaking important? I mean, what's the deal? In 1929, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences decided to recognize international excellence in cinematic achievement under 23 different categories assessed by the Academy's voting membership. The winner of each category is presented with the Academy Award of Merit, also known as the Oscar Award, which is considered to be the most renowned and prestigious competitive award in the field of entertainment. So there are a few reasons behind its prominence, starting with legacy, then recognition, brand value and exposure, and so on. But we are gonna cut to the chase and take a close look at Indian cinema and its history at the Oscars. Mother India was India's first submission for the Academy Awards in 1957. And since then, only 3 films have won the nomination, which is a tough pill to swallow for the largest film producing nation in the world. And FYI, films like Gandhi and Slumdog Millionaire are not Indian films. Despite of being based on Indian stories and having an Indian crew, these films were not produced by an Indian studio, which makes them a foreign production. Certainly there are eligibility requirements, like Indian films that are made in Hindi or any other regional language like Tamil, Malayalam, Assamese or Bengali are eligible to qualify for the best film in foreign language or the best international film. If 40% or more of the dialogues are in English, then it is game over. It can no longer qualify for the best international film. However, it can qualify for the best picture, which is a general category. And for that, the film must open in the theaters of United States and play for 7 consecutive days. It's like having an unfair home advantage, borderline bullyish. But the Academy has introduced new diversity and inclusion rules. Let's hope that's gonna make a difference. As of now, every country is invited to submit its best film to the Academy, and only 1 film is accepted from each country. Let's try and understand how does India choose its official entry. So there's a 10-member jury appointed by the Film Federation of India that is responsible for the selection of films. But the funny thing about this board is that it is almost like a buggy third-party mobile phone application, which works like magic at times, and rest of the times it is up to some next level goof up. Might as well crash your phone, but you're gonna download it anyway. You've been doing it for 63 odd years without a question. Let's take a look at some of the absurdly unjustifiable decisions. Starting with 1991. Hina was India's official entry, and it beats me. Why would someone send this to the Oscar? What's the point? You see, everyone has this annoying cousin who only has the most awkwardly embarrassing pictures of you, and after many years on your birthday, they decide to post a string of all these pictures on social media with extremely specific, embarrassing details. They're gonna tag you, and above all, they're gonna tag your crush and every damn person you possibly know, destroying the slightest chance of you getting laid ever in life. This board was made of 10 such cousins. Otherwise, I don't get the logic behind sending this film to the Oscar. I really don't get it. It beats me. Then in 1998, we sent Jeans. How many of you remember this film? A bizarre plot, over-the-top performances, awkward dance moves, the twin obsession, everything about this film was overkill. I just don't get the point they were trying to prove. It was like an official statement to the Academy that, please, restrict us from submitting films. And then came the mother of all disasters, Eklavya, the Royal Guard. And this was the toughest to process. I mean, have you watched the movie? Probably not, because no one has. Even the makers could not watch the movie. The movie itself could not watch the movie. It was 2.5 hours of excruciating pain. Look, I don't mean to sound disrespectful. This could have been a great film in terms of production quality, scale, and an overambitious ensemble cast. But it definitely did not deserve to go to the Oscar. Not in a million years. Honorary mention 2005, a great year for Indian cinema. We had some of the best films like Swades, Black, Parinita, Page 3, Iqbal, Uttarayan. Now take a guess, among these wonderful films, which film was sent to the Oscar? None. Because we decided to send this Paheli, the riddle. It was a decent film but nowhere close to its contemporaries, and it's completely fine if you don't agree with me. I presume you still have faith on IMDb. Come on, don't lie, you do check the ratings before watching a film. Go look up the ratings of all these films on IMDb. If you really want to dig deep, go watch all these films and you'll have your answer. And there's something else that I would like to talk about. Out of 54 films that have been sent by India till date, 32 are Hindi films. There's always an outside chance of a coincidence, but this does not look like a coincidence. And the sheer goof up with the selection of films over the years says it all. Something is definitely broken. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. The real problem is much more complicated, and I'm gonna need your attention. First and foremost, let's address the most basic part of the problem. Starting with the content. India might be the only nation that has an erratic classification of films. And what's really strange is, most films that are produced in India follow a template. For instance, the mainstream template is an ordinary guy who's always up to some extraordinary shit. He's a man on a mission. Destiny's Child who beats up the bad guys, is a bit of a lover boy, can sing and dance, has a funny bone, pulls off badass stunts, has all the cool dialogues, defies existing and non-existing laws of physics, looks dapper all the time, does free cataract operations and transforms into a snake.
আমি একটা কোবরা।
Say hello to quintessential Indian potboiler, a different multiverse in its own right. Such additional elements are added without context or conviction just to provide entertainment. And due to this, the story is compromised. And compromised content cannot compete at the Oscars or any other platform. This leads to a colossal imbalance of content, as majority of the films that are produced still follow this template. Thus, the ratio of good content to subpar content is totally screwed up. And you can cross-check the numbers, where compromised content will take up a huge chunk, leaving you with a handful of good films. So the bottom line is, if you do not produce wholesome content that is competent enough, you practically have zero chance of earning a nomination. Good content is appreciated regardless of anything else. Moving on to business, which breeds a strange ecosystem which is almost like a never-ending loop. The business model of Indian film industry is complicated as multiple players are involved, and profit sharing is even more complicated. The stakes are very high and the rate of success is low, and there's no guarantee of return on investment. To ensure that people don't lose money, a few tactics are employed, as in selling satellite and digital rights, getting popular actors on board and cashing in on their popularity. Marketing gimmicks, merchandise, and music is perpetually the showstopper. Thus, formula films have always been the safest bet, and so many elements are involved that it is quite likely that one out of these elements is gonna work out. Even if they're working on a good story, there's gonna be pressure from the investors to include these elements and transform the film into a commercially viable package. Since the element of risk is very high and the ecosystem is completely driven by money, people don't fancy taking a chance. Filmmakers who have the money don't want to take no risk, they want to play it safe and keep making formula films to a point where it is repetitive AF. And this affects the quality of films and creates disparity. And it bars new entrants who have fresh ideas, who have worked extensively on different components of the story, who want to experiment. Ultimately, art succumbs to the tyranny of the system. It is virtually impossible for potential talent to break through and express itself in a setup that does not value quality. And this is not an environment where good content and variety can thrive. Next up is the campaign. Hundreds of films are submitted to the Academy every year, and it is not possible for the voting members to watch all these films. It is not even compulsory. To ensure that these voting members watch the film, producers need to strategically promote the film and create a buzz around it. Now, the films that perform well at the Oscars are screened at various film festivals. For example, Parasite was screened at more than 130 film festivals. It was nominated in 330 categories, out of which it won 197 awards. That is how the hype was generated. Now, coming to the point, the average cost of screening a film at any film festival is gonna be between $1 to $20,000, exclusive of other costs that are gonna be involved and will break the bank. The cost of one screening at the Oscars is gonna be around $15,000 to $18,000, and you're gonna need multiple screenings. Apart from that, you need an agency to look after your PR and promotions, which will cost a minimum of $200,000, and that is a truckload of money. And most Indian films that were sent to the Oscars could not arrange the finance. Yes, state and central governments do their bit, but this is crazy money. Apart from this, you need the right planning and you need to start at the right time back at home. Unfortunately, we don't have the right setup or agents in India, whereas other films start planning and promoting way ahead of time and they have the right support system to back themselves. Our films don't even get a fair shot from that standpoint. And lastly, plagiarism. The Academy has zero tolerance towards unoriginal work and they have such emphasis over it that the slightest hint of unoriginality sends the film inside the bin. And Indian films in general, as we all know, are infamous for their authenticity. Yes, we have produced some excellent original work, but in general, Indian films heavily rely upon seeking inspiration from somewhere, to put it safely, which again puts us in the no nomination zone. So these were the problems, but the video is not over yet as we're gonna talk about a few possible solutions. Considering the scheme of things at the moment, a better display of administration could be a fix. Starting with complete transparency in selecting India's official entry, where all the shortlisted entries are marked on different aspects, and the film with the highest score makes the cut on merit. And the entire score sheet should be in public domain, plus arranging finance and providing a better support system to promote these films. Another solution could be pan-India films, and things are moving in that direction, but it is not quite prevalent yet. But that is gonna be the way forward. Collective effort is gonna make a significant impact. It's gonna increase the budget, resources, talent, and the entire scale of the films will bump up big time. Plus having an exposure to this massive audience, overall it's gonna result in a better optimization of resources. Or perhaps a global release could be the way out. Producing content that caters to the global audience might just increase the odds of a film doing well, irrespective of geography or platform. Because globalization and easy access to content has revolutionized the scene. And there is no hesitation or resistance in accepting content that has its origin far away from where it is being watched. If a film does well at the global level, it is gonna generate that buzz organically. Plus it's gonna help in evading stupid rules like the film releasing and playing for 7 days in the US. Other industries have already taken the global route. I don't know what's stopping us. Coming to the conclusion, can India actually win an Oscar? Most definitely yes, if we fix these issues and back our films. Let's presume RRR is selected as India's official entry. There's a good chance it can make it to the finals. The kind of response it has received within the nation and across the world is overwhelming. It already has the buzz. You never know, it might get nominated and might as well win something. And if that happens, it's gonna break a lot of preconceived notions and lay a solid foundation for Indian films at the global stage. Honestly, it's kinda exciting. And that's about it. That was the video. And please consider subscribing.
Oh, it's my privilege. Thank you.